The NHL just made what will obviously be a very controversial call in tonight's Edmonton Oilers St. Louis Blues game. Draisaitl scored about halfway through overtime. However, Toronto initiated a review of the goal and they ended up calling it back for McDavid being offside. Edmonton would end up losing the game in a really boring shootout. Now, a lot of Edmonton fans were angry because they remembered the Makar goal from the playoffs last year where the offside was waved off. That, as I'll explain it near the end of the video, is actually not relevant. However, I do think the Situation Room may have gotten this one wrong. Alright, so offside specifically is governed by Rule 83 in the rule book, and this situation is covered by Rule 83.1. Interestingly, as I'll put on screen here, this rule actually got a slight modification between 2022 and 2023. That's important to note because it could indicate that the league is trying to change the application of the rule. According to this year's rule, a player is not offside if they cross the blue line before the puck when, and I quote, a player controlling the puck who shall cross the line ahead of the puck shall not be considered offside provided he had possession and control of the puck prior to his skates crossing the leading edge of the blue line. The leading edge, somewhat confusingly, is this part of the blue line. So the question you need to ask is, did McDavid have control of the puck as his skates crossed the blue line? Because they did so before the puck. The operative word here is control, and control and possession mean two different things. Control specifically, according to the rulebook, is the act of propelling the puck with the stick, hand, or feet. Control of the puck is not lost when contact with the puck is made by an opponent, the boards, or the net, provided the player in control of the puck continues propelling the puck. Possession, on the other hand, is simply the player who had control most recently. But what does that actually mean? Does McDavid need to literally be touching the puck as he crosses the blue line? No, I don't think so. That's not really how hockey works. Players don't have the puck glued to their stick. It's just quite generally, as you would understand it, did he have control of it? And I think if you look throughout the rules, other uses of the word control seem to back this up. For example, if you look at Rule 56.6, if a player is on a breakaway and they have control of the puck in the neutral or attacking zone, those are the direct words, and they're interfered with by a thrown stick, they will automatically receive a penalty shot. Now, obviously, in that situation, you don't literally need to have the puck on your stick, touching your stick. If you're in the act of propelling it, that's clearly fine. And that seems to be the common sense interpretation of the rule. So, was McDavid in the act of propelling the puck as his skates broke the plane of the blue line? Yeah, I think obviously he was. The fact that he later gets his stick hit by O'Reilly doesn't matter because the moment the offside either crystallizes or doesn't is when his skates cross that plane before the puck. And even if I'm wrong about that, by the time the puck crosses the blue line, he's really still in the same action. He loses control, arguably, when O'Reilly hits his stick away. Interestingly, he still has possession because he was the last person to touch it, but no control. I actually think that the changes in the rule help back up this interpretation. The old rule said a player actually controlling the puck, and the word actually was removed, somewhat indicating to me that it's just the normal understanding of the rule control. And you read rules in plain language, that's a key of rule interpretation. And I mean, if you think about other situations where this applies, for example, a player skating backwards and crossing the blue line with the puck, it's not about whether they physically have the puck as they're doing so, it's about whether they have that control. Look at this situation with Rick Nash from the 2010 Olympics. He skates backwards over the blue line. He's not physically touching the puck the moment he crosses the plane, but he's still controlling it. To make the distinction otherwise would be somewhat ludicrous. So yeah, I think this was probably the wrong call, just subjectively. And what's more, I don't think this is a situation where the NHL should reverse the call. Because the fact of control is a subjective opinion, the NHL shouldn't be overriding the call on ice unless there's clear evidence. So, Edmonton fans, yeah, I think this was wrong. It's not, however, the same as what happened last year in the playoffs with Makar. In that case, the puck clearly goes over before him. The problem was there was another player offside. So the operative rule there is delayed offside. And that specifically says that the test isn't possession or control. The player has until the puck is touched to check up. So yeah, that's my thought on the rule. Let me know yours down below.